Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Mar-Vell from the Abomination Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Mar-Vell, otherwise known as Captain Marvel, displayed in the front window with his Build-A-Figure piece. At the bottom we get the Marvel logo and then just Mar-Vell on that red band. On the sides we do get some artwork there of Mar-Vell flying off in a pretty cool flight pose there, and that is going to be the same artwork on both sides. On the back, we're going to get that same artwork again with the flat flying hands, which are not included with this figure. We only get fists. But then we do have a quick read-up as well. The power of flight, superhuman strength, and stamina make Mar-Vell a celebrated warrior. Then we have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Abomination Build-A-Figure. And then at the very bottom, we do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Mar-Vell. And here is Mar-Vell outside of his packaging. And of course, I said Captain Marvel earlier because that is probably his more well-known name. Certainly that was the name of the series that he was in. So he was more widely known as being Captain Marvel. Now, while this isn't his original costume in the comic book series, this costume was introduced in the very late 60s and persisted all the way through the character's death into the early 80s. Now, he has been brought to life in various flashbacks and things like that throughout some more recent storylines, but for the most part, this character is dead as far as the Marvel Universe is concerned. So it's actually kind of cool that Hasbro gave us a character that isn't alive, but it helps fill out a lot of really cool classic setups that we might have. Certainly gives us somebody to fight like a Kree Sentry and things like that. So really cool that they gave this to us. Unfortunately, he does not come with any other accessories. That is a bummer. So nothing but the fist there. Now, when standing straight up, Mar-Vell is coming in at 6 3/8 inches tall, which makes him about 16.2 centimeters, so he is a good height. But like I said, he doesn't come with any accessories, so let's go ahead and just jump in and get a look here at the paint and sculpt on Mar-Vell. And getting up close, we can see a pretty decent looking head sculpt here for Mar-Vell. Unfortunately, a little fuzzy there around the edges of the mask though, so we see the flesh tone didn't quite make it all the way to the edges. I mean, it's not bad though from a distance. The eyes look okay. Don't really have any issues there. Of course, they're just all white, but thankfully they stayed mostly inside the lines there. And then the hair is a separate sculpted piece that is glued on. And I was trying to look. This definitely isn't the Captain Universe head. I almost thought they just glued some hair on the Captain Universe head, but it didn't look like it. It almost borderline looks like maybe the Secret Wars Captain America that they had. Didn't quite look like that either, though, so somebody tell me if this is a head that's been used. I feel like it is, but I just couldn't find one in my collection that looked exactly like it. There were some subtle differences in some of them, so let me know what you think. But the head sculpt does work, so I will say the first time he appears in this costume, from the research I saw, it looked like he had gray hair, so I think maybe later on in the 70s, his hair became more blonde. I don't know if they just de-aged him in the comics or not. That's certainly a possibility. I do remember him being blonde though, so I feel like that's right. The body sculpt we get on here is like the Spidey UK and the Cosmic Spidey, so it's a good sculpt. I like the fabric lines and things like that. I think this looks really good because it looks like he's wearing a costume versus skin-tight spandex. However, I really wish we would have gotten butterfly joints. This sculpt doesn't traditionally have that, so you'd have to go to like the Bullseye body or the Spider-Man 2099 body to get those butterfly joints. So you get a trade-off. We would get those joints, but have the skin-tight outfit, or have the skin-tight outfit and not the butterfly joints. So I don't know. I guess it's a decent trade-off because I do like this sculpt more. Looking at the paint, though, not bad. Yeah, I mean, a few issues here and there. So this is going to be molded in blue and painted red, it looks like. The red doesn't look like it completely matches, though, here on the upper arm. Maybe it does, I guess. I don't know. It's not too shabby, though. And definitely here on the forearm, though, you can see that red does not match. So that is, I mean, it's not glaring when you see it in person, but when you see it up close, it is pretty noticeable there. And the nega bands, which are very plain. Obviously, even in the comic book, they're just these gold bands on there. So those look good. And then, as mentioned, we do only get the fisted hands for him, which I've been saying it with some of the other figures. I prefer the fisted hands for a character like this. The artwork has him in the flying poses with flight hands, and we don't get those. And I feel like this is Hasbro's way of getting us eventually to accept a $25 price point for regular releases. There's been a distinct lack of accessories in a fair amount of these last reviews that I've done of regular Build-A-Figure wave figures. I mean, I haven't had any accessories in the 3 figures that I've reviewed so far from this wave, and the accessories I think are pretty limited in the rest of it. So eventually I think this is how they're going to get us to accept the $25 price point that we're already seeing with like fan channel exclusives. But anyway, continuing on, you can see the red paint again, not quite matching up. I think the blue is just too dark. So when it's painted over the blue mold, the blue molded pieces, it's bringing it out to be too dark. So, and then we can see here, we kind of get the same effect, though this time in reverse, where the blue doesn't quite match because it's painted blue here on the upper legs or the upper calf, and then it's molded in blue down there. And there is some marbling there, but that's not too shabby. I can handle that. But all in all, I mean, it's a good looking figure, and it captures his most iconic look, so I'm pretty pleased with it. For articulation, head can go all the way around, look down quite a ways, can look up without any issue. This is going to be one of those ones where if you just pull up his arm, he's going to hit, and you're going to have it scratched. So when you do pose the arm, you're going to want to kind of push it down a bit at the joint. You can see you get some pretty decent range there. Full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. Then he is going to have rotation and a hinge there at the wrists. He does have, a decent ab crunch. No problems there, forward and backwards. Waist swivel, legs that don't really come apart very far at all. He can kick forward quite a bit, though. Backwards, not much at all. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, but it really doesn't want to go too far beyond that 90 there. He does have a boot cut there, and then we have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. So overall, I do like this figure, and I think the body choice that they did is not a bad one. I do prefer butterfly joints if I can, but I think we can still do a pretty good job of getting this guy in some pretty nice poses. And I do prefer the torso sculpt of this particular body mold versus the torso sculpt of the Spidey 2099 sculpt. So, but it does look good. The red maybe is a shade too dark. After looking at some comic book images, I feel like maybe that should have been lightened up a little bit, but overall, still a decently executed figure. The lack of hands and alternate head sculpts and things like that so far in this wave has been interesting, to say the least. No extra hands at all, but again, I'm happy if I'm not going to get extra hands. I'm happy to have gotten fisted hands. Captain Mar-Vell, certainly a very powerful figure, and having fists is certainly the best hands you could have given him if we were only going to have to settle on one set of hands. So with that being said, if you're looking for some classic team lineup and things like that, or some classic posing, definitely worth picking up. However, this character for many of you might have been dead long before you even got into comic books, so I could certainly see some people just not really caring and moving past him. Let me know down below, though, what you think of this figure. If you got him, if you like him, where he's at in your collection. I love hearing that sort of stuff. But anyway, as I said, that is it for this review. If you like this review, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content just like this. And as always, thanks for watching my videos, and have a great day.